Hey guys, this is everything I've learned so far trying to push my life towards being a full time creative, using social media to build an audience, and trying to put my art out into the world as much as possible. Now, I'm still very much on the journey. I've gone in the last 3 weeks. I've gone from 50 followers to just over 400, which is I feel like that's amazing progress. But obviously, in the grand scheme of social media, it's still very rookie numbers. But I'm going to talk about how what I've been doing and how it's felt as I've been doing it because I'm having fun. But it is taking like quite a lot of effort for very like incremental changes to what's happening. So this is everything I've done, and if it's helpful for you, great. I'm obviously still in the learning, so probably a lot better positioned people to give you advice, but maybe there's other people in the same position as me, right? So a few months ago I did some vlogs where I was talking about trying to push my life from working in an office to being a full-time creative, and I love having the time to focus on that, but it has been felt like a real grind so far, and it isn't immediately obvious to me how I can make art that I'm really passionate about and also make products or art that's going to sell well, because you see other people giving advice online. A lot of people talk about selling prints, a lot of people talk about maybe making things like greeting cards or stickers, and it feels like I'm still in the sort of building phase in terms of trying to put a portfolio together of my work. And I've tried to go for some specific statement pieces that have, with the specific goal of trying to sort of give best effort and show via social media what I'm capable of as an illustrator. And the really exciting thing for me is I've been drawing every day for about 2 years now, and the growth I've seen in the last 3 or 4 months in terms of my own skill has been unbelievable, and it has taken those 2 years of work to start delivering work on a regular basis that I'm really proud of and like feel happy and comfortable sharing. So that's like number one thing to say to anyone on a similar journey is keep doing the work on the art, because you're gonna get that organic reaction of people enjoying it when it's your like high quality stuff, or maybe they're seeing the journey from rough sketches through to a finished product. But the first piece I did that got any kind of like positive reception online was this piece, the Avengers Infinity War tribute poster. And so all this was for me was I have this poster up in my garage. I love this film. It's one of my favorite action movies, never mind Marvel movies of all time. And I just wanted to sort of test myself and see, with all these different characters, I think there's over 20 different people on the poster, what are my skills like in terms of capturing their likeness. And I use alcohol markers for the color, so how good am I at using that type of pen to deliver like high quality color finish. And so I was really happy with this, that this at the time was the best picture I think I was capable of doing. Really liked the color, really liked the format of like a poster captures loads of different characters within the one movie. Like I say, it got a decent, for me, a decent response, about maybe 40 or 50 likes at the time, which I was delighted with. And so I was like, cool, that I loved doing that piece. It was a lot of fun. I want to try and find another thing that I love and do a sort of tribute poster for it. I thought about the Power Rangers, and I went back and had a look at some of their material from their sort of original promotion stuff, and it was not interesting at all. So I thought, cool, I'm going to do my own version of a Power Rangers poster. So the Infinity War one was a complete copy of what their actual movie poster was. And this was my first ever go at putting a poster together, hand drawn, and I was delighted with, again, the color, but also that I feel like it really caught everything that I loved about Power Rangers in the picture. And so that was number two. And I got, the reaction was fine, but it wasn't like, this is, you're talking to someone who has never even sniffed at virality in my life. So like, I've never had a viral success on social media yet. That's totally fine. I'm enjoying the work, and this was sort of next step in the process. Those two A3 posters, and I was like, we need to go bigger. I wanted to sort of push my coloring skill and detail to a higher degree, because what I was finding with those posters was I did feel like if I had a bit more space, maybe I could get more detail in there. And so this was one that really pushed my patience, if nothing else, to the limit, because we have the New York City skyline. It's an A2 sheet landscape, and every single one of these buildings has individually colored windows. I used soft pastels to blend for the sunrise, and then everything you see in the foreground in terms of the city and even these hills back here is all alcohol markers. So this is probably like, it's still to this day is probably one of the pieces that I'm most proud of. People have been really kind and enjoyed the picture. And this is like, it's not a pop culture reference, this is truly like an original work of mine. And so you can see already that's three pieces of work, three pieces that I've specifically been thinking, how am I going to show off what I'm capable of? And each time it's pushed my skills further by trying to pursue this sort of new level of creation. The next thing I wanted to do was do another big poster but try a different material. So this was a colored pencil piece, Disney's Hercules, my favorite Disney movie growing up. And what I should say is that each of these the New York piece and the Hercules piece, I started doing live TikTok streaming while I was working on them. And that has been an absolute game changer for me in terms of building audience, and particularly like engaging with people, talking about the work I do, having them talk to me about the kinds of things they'd like to see in terms of future posters. But like this one was a real happy result for me, because I'd never used pencil before. I'd never worked on pencil, in particular on this scale of poster before. And so I was delighted with the result. And as I was working on that, people started saying on live, oh, I'd like to see this kind of movie or this kind of movie. And the thing I try and do is make sure I'm picking a topic or a subject for the next piece that, again, is going to push my art in a different direction. So Fast and Furious came up, and I'd never drawn cars. So I was like, cool, let's try a Fast and Furious movie tribute, because this is something that is kind of totally out with my comfort zone. And again, I was happy with the result. Like, it's another, I think, good example of what I'm capable of in terms of illustration. And it made me slightly nervous to be drawing cars. Other requests we had were a Spider-Man piece. Again, like this, for me, shows real growth in my skill, but also the ability to accurately replicate what I'm looking at in terms of images. And then I thought, again, trying to push things in a different direction, try more of a fashion focused piece. So we've got a pair of Jordan 1. So long story short, what I've been trying to do through these projects is find ways of delivering work that gets people's attention online, using TikTok live streaming to try and build an audience, engage with an audience, and help people see, like, I'm actually here, I'm the artist, physically putting in the work on the projects. And I've really enjoyed it, and it's been an absolute game changer, going from 50 followers up to just over 400. That was not going to be happening with just posting videos online. And so I feel like we're making progress, we're going in the right direction. Still nowhere near either making money from the art or being able to sustain a professional career as an artist, but I feel like things are moving in the right direction. And I'm just sort of documenting this now as a sort of check back in on where we are versus those vlogs I did a few months ago. So just want to say a big thank you to anyone who's checked in on the lives. They're going to keep happening. I'm exploring TikTok Shop, and I'm just going to keep pushing forward in terms of trying to work out how we can turn this into a real thing. But I appreciate you checking it out, and if you've made it to this point in the video, God bless you.